Welcome back to Psychopath Marketing. My name is Brandon and I am the psychopath your mama warned you about. Today we are going to be doing a ad, basically just an ad that you promote, and you're going to be doing it through Photoshop. So if you haven't yet, download the Photoshop application. There's a free trial. It's a 30-day free trial. You can get it at adobe.com. Link will be in the description. And well, if it seems that the audio is a little off, it's because it is. What happened was I actually recorded like a 24 minute video here that you're about to see, and that was yesterday, and I realized I did not hit record on the audio. It was set to mute, so I took a day to myself to reflect on my stupidity. So anyway, yeah, we're just going to go ahead and dive into doing an ad for just a real estate ad, because that's what I do. And you can follow it along and do what you want as far as the ad goes. So just follow along with what's on screen, what I'm doing there. I'm going to be opening a new file. Go to File, click on New. And then, yeah, you can see it's set to 72 dpi. That is pixels per inch. This is a web-based ad. This is not print. You're not getting business cards or something like that where it's going to be 300 pixels per inch, which is high resolution. This is a small file, 72 inches or 72 pixels per inch. We're also going to do 500 by 500, which is fine if you don't have that, because standard is probably 800 by 600 when you first install Photoshop. So go ahead and make these changes, and we're just going to work together. And of course, you can play around after we're done here and see what you can do. So yeah, while that video is doing that, it's been a little interesting. I got some advice saying that I had no personality after the past couple videos, and you know what, you're right. I've been through a lot, so I'm not gonna have much personality, but I'm gonna work on it. I believe I am discussing using shapes. No, text. Okay, so you select the text. That's the T for text. You can see the color is set to black up on top there. I'm going to switch it into my foreground color on the left side there. But as long as that top one is set, you're fine. That's what the color is going to show up. You can see the colors there. You could select. That's web safe colors. And I have no idea what I'm talking about right then and there. So, so anyway, while I'm trying to figure this out, how did you guys find me? Let me know in a comment below. Help me out with my marketing. I'm hovered over the shapes tool, that little box there. You notice the shapes, they have little triangles next to them. The ones that do, they have more objects. If you right click on them, you'll see what I'm talking about. Now see, I'm setting the size of the text that you're going to be seeing. Too small is 12. That's basically what you read in a book, but this is for web-based advertising, so you're going to want a bigger font. So that's what that is there. You have one selected. I'm going to type out "we buy houses," and you notice that it's aligned funny. I could just hit that left align button and it'll straighten out, but instead, because sometimes centered copy is good for advertising, we're going to go ahead and just move it, and you see it's centered in the screen with that little marker, and you can move it around. That's you see the layer on the right, that layer is selected. So when that's selected and you're doing something on the screen, that's the layer you're editing. So keep that in mind. I'm changing that color because, a lot of those houses, we buy houses, the bandit signs, they're yellow with black text, and that's what I'm doing there. You notice that background color is white, and you see over there on the layer on the right side, ignore the thing that I'm doing there. Well, don't ignore it. Actually, I think I'm about to put a background on that text. So you select, oh, guess not. Yep. Okay. Basically, that lock button on that layer there means that you can't edit it. So what I do is I just duplicate it, the background. Just hit OK, delete the old one with the lock next to it, and then you could just edit the new layer there for the background. If you want, you could just fill it in with a color with the paint bucket tool. If it's not a paint bucket tool, just right click on that little icon and you'll see what's in that tool. But I don't really want to do that. What I did was I actually switched it up and did some depth graphics, made it look a little 3D. So that's what I'm going to be doing there. So just pay attention to what I'm doing there, because I'm probably not going to catch it all. I'm probably going to ramble off into something else because I am a psychopath. But yeah, so according to a few people, personality issues, and you're right. I tried too hard, to not be, that guy, and turn into that guy. So I'm gonna figure it out as I go. See, I'm used to building, web brands for companies. I've consulted for large, Fortune 500 companies. I've been a consultant indirectly through a contractor for Mercedes-Benz. I've consulted for various celebrities on internet PR. I was on the Curtis Lewa show on WABC New York Talk Radio. Oh man, how long ago was that? It was at least 7 years ago, I think. It was about online bullying. Before I go any further, I'm talking right now about the special shapes there that are included. You can see that there. So if you're following along and you saw me right click on that icon, select special or custom shapes, that's what that is. And obviously I wanted to use that rectangle. So but yeah, I also consulted. I was an expert witness in a patents trademarks case with a auto wholesaler, and I won my client a lot of money there. But yeah, I've done various things, so I've been around, but I have issues with social issues. I don't know. I'm not the guy that goes out. I prefer to stay home. So part of my problem is being a little antisocial, I guess. Not in the way that hurts animals or anything. I'm just the guy that doesn't like people, I guess. So you see that layer that I'm dragging around? I put that layer above the text, so that's why it's blanked out the text. You got to remember that Photoshop uses layers, kind of like CSS. If you're a web designer and you know what cascading style sheets are, the top one cascades down to the bottom. So whatever's on top is going to be seen no matter what, and then you're going to go down further and further. So if you end up covering something up, that's why. Just look at your layer structure. So that's all that is. And you double click on the right side of that instead of the text itself, because you'll end up changing the text. You double click on that and you see the different styles that you can do to that object that you selected. So that's what I'm doing there is I'm going to create some drop shadows and change the items on that, the properties, and give it a little depth. That's you want your advertising to pop. So that's what I'm going to do there. And I think you'll like this one, by the way. If you're following along and doing everything that I do, and then just switch it around to your own text, your own phone number, or even if it's a different kind of ad, But yeah, I think you'll like this. So yeah, you see those colors? They just pop. The gray. At first, I wasn't going to keep that. I actually was like, I don't know. But I went ahead and kept it, and then I'm going to go ahead and resize that so it looks more even, a little centered. I do have OCD issues. I am a psychotherapist's wet dream, so I don't know. I avoid them though. You can see me changing the properties, and you can see what that looks like on the screen. That's a drop shadow. So yeah, I was actually thinking about starting a video gameplay channel, and I've been hesitant. I'm like, well, there's already people out there doing it better, and without my personality, without a personality, I don't know how well I do on that sort of channel with commentary and that sort of thing. I mean, I'm a fan of the Rad Brad. I don't know if you watch video gameplay, but that's the channel I watch. I don't know, something happened. He just slowed down after late December of last year, and like he didn't finish one of the games, and then he's been sort of not taking on full series much. So I mean, I thought he was going to do a full series for the new Mass Effect, and he didn't. He did the demo, I guess, ahead of time, but not the full game. And that was a game I really wanted to see, but I ended up getting it on game day, and I've been playing it. So think about doing that channel. Now you can see this ad is starting to come along. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create some more effects on that bottom. I'm being a little OCD right there by making sure that perfectly fits, but it doesn't have to. As long as it covers that box, and it could be outside of the box, it'll still appear in the box, so it's all good. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually create a drop shadow for that too, and it's not going to be exactly the same. I'm going to switch it up, give it some depth again. So where is everybody from? I am originally from, I was born in Florida, came out to Chicago at 6 months old. My parents went out there on a motorcycle and came back in a car. So they had me out there. And, I lived in, we moved out to Chicago Heights. And, that's the area that I've lived in most of my life. And then, I moved into the Quad Cities area later on in my adult life. Early in my adult life. I think I was, 21, 22 maybe. And then I've been back and forth, but mostly out here in the Quad Cities. And I'm actually getting tired of Illinois. Thinking about moving somewhere else. For a little while it was Colorado, and then something changed in my mind, and I was thinking, it would be great inspiration for stuff that I'm working on, my projects, and that would be a nice dreary, foggy, creepy sort of place. And I'm thinking, well, maybe Maine by the coast, and then you watch a show and you're like, oh damn, man, I wonder if life is really like that out there. And that's happened to me a couple times. Once was when I was watching Roswell. I was like, hey, we gotta go to New Mexico. And then I was watching the originals. I binge watched all that because I didn't know that series was even on, let alone good. And I binge watched 4 seasons, or what, 3? I don't know what season it's in right now, but I binge watched the first, I don't know, I think it's 3 seasons on Netflix. And I was like, oh, now I want to go to New Orleans. So I really don't know what I want to do. Somebody tell me. Now you can see right there I'm typing on the screen and the text is all bunched together. And we're going to change that in a minute. But right now we're just going to go ahead and put the text. But you can see that there's a setting for that spaces out text. So pay attention to what I'm doing there and follow along with it. Yeah. And you can see I'm designing an ad targeting people who, homeowners, who are behind on their payments. Common issue, they get behind, they end up with foreclosure threats, and I go in and I save the day and make some money in the process, and everybody's happy, win-win all around. So, but obviously, you can rework this ad to whatever it is. You do e-commerce, fine, switch it up. I'm just giving you the basics here. Nothing in this video is advanced. It's just basic stuff. I'm not dealing with smart objects or any of that crap. It's pretty simple. You see that, you select that particular item, and then you go and you space it out until it's to your liking. You see that's not enough. I'm going to space it out a good deal. I could have went 1 up, but I'm going to go 2 up and give it a nice little space. Look at that. Perfect. So you can select the select tool, and then you can move that layer right on your screen. You notice the layer is still selected on the right. And now I'm going to go and select a custom shape. I'm looking for a phone icon because, why not? I want people to take action, and my call to action is a phone call away. So I'm going to select that, and then I'm going to select the color that I want it to be, which is black. I'm going to drag it, but I'm going to do it in a perfect way. I'm going to hold down Shift and drag, left click and drag, because holding down Shift will give you a perfect square instead of drawing willy-nilly on the screen. So that's what I'm about to do here. Any minute now. So, yeah. So, what all do you guys do? I know I'm asking a lot here, but, give me something to go on. I want to know who's watching me. Tell me a little bit about yourself and what kind of business are you in. Now you see you deselect that tool by selecting the select tool. You can move it around. And then you could throw some text in there. And I changed the color because, you want it to pop. And you want people to pay attention. And they're not going to pay attention to something that's the same every single time. So that's what I'm going to do there. I actually have some more videos coming out after this. I'm going to be doing at least one. It's probably going to be a two video set on article writing for search engine optimization. And I actually, my company's Equity Investments, but I also have a partnership with National Cash Offer right now. And I'm doing their search engine optimization. So I wrote an article that would be perfect for a video. So that's what I'm going to be doing next. And I'm going to do an article for my own website at paidcashforhouses.com and show you a little bit more about SEO and getting ranked in Google. Everything that you need to make some money in this business. You can see right there I'm talking about the alignment of the text. If you select that text tool, the layer is selected on the right, You just hit that button and it's going to align it. You deselect the tool and you move it where you want it to be. So pretty simple. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create some more effects on that text, make it stand out and give it depth. And I'm going to play around with the shadow here. You're going to see it. At first I didn't like that, but then I was like, oh, wait a second. So that's going to happen. And we'll get her done. So yeah, look at that. And see, you can basically outline the text like that. You can also just create a stroke, which is basically an outline. But you can also, like I said, just give it a little shadow. And I actually think that pops right there. That gives it some depth. So that's what I'm going to run with. Something like that. What do you think? Think it looks good? So, pretty simple stuff. I have no idea what I'm talking about on there. So yeah, you can basically, I'm telling you to save as. You want to save it as whatever you're going to use, a GIF, a JPEG, a PNG file. But make sure you save your PSD source file. Just save, and it's going to default to PSD. It should, and that's your Photoshop file, and it's going to keep the layers. Because if you don't keep the layers, what it's going to do is, once you create that image, it's going to flatten the image. And that means all the layers are going to merge together. You're not going to be able to edit anymore. You're just going to be able to go and mess it up pretty much. So if you want to be able to make some changes down the road, make sure you save your PSD file, right away. And then save as the image that you're going to be promoting. So, if it be a GIF or a JPEG or whatever, make sure that you get your source file. You're going to regret it down the road if you don't. So that's pretty much all there is to it. And well, make sure your layers are properly aligned. If you have any questions, go ahead and post it in the comments. I will do my best to answer. And, maybe somebody else can answer if I'm unavailable. And I'll see you next time.